the national coordinator of the Obedience Movement. And I'm going to post for you. Yes,
Thank you very much. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, typical of Mr. Peter Obi's humbleness, keeping to time, trying to make sure that he's in everywhere that is most important. He sends his warmest greetings to this particular very august occasion and apologize for his inability to be with you. But be rest assured that he supports this particular program wholeheartedly because his belief is that when we correct our electoral system, Nigeria will be better for it. And he thanks the organizers for giving him this opportunity to being invited. I will speak now as the coordinator of the Obedient movement. Number one, I would like to pay tribute to Mr. Ariyo Atoyi. Mr. Ariyo was one of the foremost Nigerian civil society personnel that has been championing the cause for electoral reform. Mr. Ariyo died some couple of years ago and left his children. But constantly, Mr. Ariyo has been on the forefront for the cause of electoral reform. Please, a round of applause for his family as we represent. Thank you very much. Then I recognize also Mr. Pastor Oaks. Mr. Pastor Oaks has invited myself and Mr. Femi Falana and Peter Aka Randy. For those of us who have been watching social media, you will know that Mr. Peter Aka Randy has been on the forefront of the call for electoral reform. Ladies and gentlemen, the electoral reform is key for our development. One, we need to find out how do we even elect or put in place the INEC chairman, which is number one. If we feel that the INEC chairman position has been rightly put in place, please say aye. Okay, definitely it is a nay, because the process of getting the INEC chairman has been a faulty one right from the beginning. And once you miss that particular process, you are going to get a lot of things wrong. So we support the position of the Justice Mohammed Iwe's report, who says that the INEC chairman position must be publicized. If you publicize it, the Nigerian Judicial Council should be able to select who they will present for Mr. President to take responsibility of choosing. That way, we can have an independent electoral commission. We also suggest strongly that the Electoral Commission must be unbundled because there's too much work for the Electoral Commission. And how do we unbundle it? It must be unbundled into three places. One, the Electoral Commission, which is responsible for the election. Two, we have the Enforcement Commission. Then thirdly, we have the Delineation Commission. That way, the work of INEC will completely reduce and we'll be able to hold INEC responsible for electoral malfeasance as the case may be. Ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, we have submitted a 10-page recommendation to the organizers. The 10-page submission was done by the Directorate of the Obedient Movement. You could find a lot of work in it so that it can be useful for the presentation at the National Assembly. We want this particular gathering to consider strongly that it's not only meeting in this particular environment that will push in that particular electoral reform. We must march to the National Assembly on an agreed date. Leaders of this group must march to the National Assembly to submit this document and enforce it through the National Assembly, because the only language that they understand is seeing people on ground. If you keep quiet, they will not do it. Finally, switching on the issue of Mr. Donald Trump. Yes, it's a wake-up call, but the question is that I remember I watched a video. The Fulani bandits said one thing. They said their cows do not produce AK-47. Their cows do not produce ammunition. Their cows only produce calves. Those ammunition that you are seeing moving around from north, west, everywhere were being produced by somebody. So if the United States of America really want to help Nigeria, they should cut the arms supply. Cut the arms supply from every facet. Nigeria is covered by Francophone countries. All French countries cover Nigeria around it. So if they really want to help us, they don't even need to talk about coming to Nigeria. Just cut the supply and the banditry will stop. Thank you very much for listening.
You know, I grew up in a military environment where people talk in an infantry tone. For me, most of the issues to be discussed have been talked about, and but what I wanted to do was to just talk to our people and then start the protest that Tanko represented on behalf of them. But clearly, over the last 20 years, we've been very, may I stand on already established protocol, Mr. President? So, the representative of Peter Obi, let me tell you something. In the last 20 years, we have written more on electoral reform, and those documents are valid. We've talked about it on a daily basis. We worked with our colleagues from Comrade Mark Adebayo to Dr. Sanko. We traveled. Even when the country that came out, we were the first people that did protest, how they call it, organized advocacy on no card reader, no what, Dr. Tanko. No card reader, no election. Well, so we've been doing that for more than 20 years. And we've been speaking on television, on radio station, in trying to make sure that our people understand the consequences of disengaging from the electoral process and the governance process. Because one of the challenges that Nigeria faces is not the fact that you go to vote on election day. It's the fact that you disengage from the process that leads to the election and the process after the election. Because election actually is a pre, during, and post effect. Because you have to participate in the laws that govern election. You have to go out and vote and make sure your vote counts. And you have to also participate in anybody that has been announced as the elected person to make sure you put them on their toes to do what is right. If we disengage, if we have a citizen system that all you do is to complain, all you do is to wait for election day, and a very few people go to cast their vote. You can't talk about today political party, which is the area that we have invested our life in. You talk about where multi-party democracy has been killed by Section 225A, where the registration of political party has become something that is acting against the collective interests of survivors of political parties, where political party leaders can no longer speak to government, neither they can also question INEC for the inefficiencies and the shortcomings of the commission. Because why? Anytime they do so, the cutlass is hanging on their neck because they will be registered, because you can't question the commission. The commission will come at you with Section 225A. Political party must progress. Political party don't progress. You can never have an electoral system that will be independent. For you as citizens, if you want a system that is truly representative, you must go into a political party and populate it and take your position as delegate. Delegate that will not serve their delegate right on the day of primaries. And it's critical that you must know that today we have 19 registered political parties. If election comes in 2027, and these 19 political parties, their primaries is crooked, criminally induced, financially induced, and whatever vices that has to do with electoral malpractice come under their control, and they present 19 thieves for you on election day. Your voting on election day is useless. You'll be electing one of the thieves. So it's critical that you go to a political party, participate in the primaries, and select candidates that will truly represent your right and interest. Today, we have people in power who are not representative of our people. Why? Because they have deliberately impoverished the people. We have about 139 million Nigerians living in abject poverty. How do you think such people can take independent decisions on your behalf and vote for a candidate that will be truly a candidate that have capacity, that have competence, that have character? How do you think those people can be able to do it? I participated in election in 2027 outside party politics. In party politics, we're veterans. Every IPAC election we win. We will help people to win. But when I went to 2023 to participate in election, I won, but where is the result? I saw things that I've never seen in my life. In fact, I came out with clinical depression. I said, my friends like this, and my other brother, Mr. Adewola, who helped me out of the stress at the time. It was clinical depression, because you will see your friends, your people will love you, but you will not get the result from the ballot. So we must have people who are interested in making sure that credible leaders who believe in the unity and prosperity of this country work and get elected and get to represent them. You have National Assembly today. Our friends there, and when I talk to them about issues they were agitating before they got elected, what they will tell you is that this place, to anything you do, they can remove you. So you have a challenge. Citizens must participate. Citizens must protest. Governance is not about voting on election day. It's about actively holding government accountable. Without that, no government can deliver for the people. You want multi-party democracy to flourish. When you have a political, an election process that is driven by all forms of all the bad things you know of, how will multi-party democracy flourish? You have local government system today. It's the greatest electoral fraud fostered on the Nigerian electoral system. The greatest electoral fraud. That's what local government elections are. You can never get victory. Governors come here today. People have been in governors who manipulate our electoral system at the local level. They come here today to tell you about how transparent elections should be. No, the only way you can make elections transparent is for you to stand up for yourself. Nobody who have enjoyed power to a greater extent than being in power since 1999 wants the good for yourself. Not for you. All they want is to get back to power because that resources that sustain them has been cut off. It is you that will determine who you send. It is you who will determine who should go there. About 8,000 wards across Nigeria. Imagine we have free local government elections. You have young people who will be councillors, who will be ward chairman, who will be local government chairman at the 774 local government. The state governors are still manipulating that process. Even Tinubu will not want to solve them because even after the Supreme Court judgment, he has to now have an agreement with governors in order to implement the Supreme Court judgment. What kind of country are we living in? We want a better country, and yet we see so docile. We're expecting God to come and save us. Make I tell you something. Nobody is coming to save you. We must save ourselves by actively participating in the process and determine the future that we want and work for the better of this country. Because this is a country. My last statement on this. This is a country where you used to go to school, public school. You will sit down with children of commissioners, children of ministers, children of governors, former governors and governors. You know what that does to you? It's a network building process. School is not supposed to just go and learn. You build network. Today there's a segregation happening in this country. Poor people go to poor schools. Rich people go to very rich schools. So you can't even mix. Your child can't even have the opportunity to communicate with them. So that your child has to fight in an unjust society, with a just electoral system, with an unjust electoral system, unjust governance process, and also a system of school that excludes the very poor from a process of engaging with other members of the public. So it is critically clear that we have a challenge in this country, and the only thing that can solve it is citizens' participation in both governance, in both electoral process, and in assuring that both religious process is divided and taken away from our electoral process. We have a challenge, and that challenge can only be solved by us. Please, let's solve it ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you very much,